This is our introduction lesson to our new topic of crime and deviance. In this lesson, I'm going to record the meaning of these two terms, crime and deviance, and what they mean in sociology. Laws, legal, to do with laws, values, norms, to do with culture, people, status, time and place, adapt, change, and Aztecs, Mesoamerican people, Mexico. So let's crack on with it. So, what's a crime? This person broke into a car, stolen a computer. This woman is shoplifting. These people have no clothes on and they're playing volleyball. What is a crime? Theft, depends on it. A crime is something we've decided you can't do. We've decided you shouldn't do that. It's against the law. So what is a law? A law is a written rule that we wrote down. It's not like the law of gravity. Gravity exists whether you believe in it or not. Stealing things, theft, is only a crime because we say it is, because we've taken it so seriously, we write it down. So how do certain actions become crimes? How come taking a computer, taking a pair of pants, how come it's a crime? Our culture has decided that's so serious, we're going to punish it. So we have decided as a culture that property, things, can belong to people. We've decided that private property exists, and therefore because it exists, it's illegal for somebody else to take your stuff. And to a Marxist, that's a very interesting observation. We've decided that things come before people. So if you are starving and your family are starving and you climb a fence to take apples, it's stealing. So to a Marxist, that's the way to look at laws. Who's in charge? Who writes the laws? Feminists the same. They look, well, who writes the laws? Men write the laws, and the laws are very patriarchal. That's the sort of take on it they have. So how do actions become crimes? We decide depending on what our culture says. So what's deviance? Deviance is when you break the rules of the culture. Often also a crime, but not always. You deviate, you leave the path. If culture's a path, then you're walking it. If you leave the path, you're deviating. So that's what's going on here. We regard this as not normal. If they're playing naked volleyball in a nudist colony, that's not a crime, but we would say that's a bit deviant because that's not normal. You're breaking the rules of the culture. So while certain behaviour is deviant, others are not, it depends on what your culture says. It depends on the context. One of the examples we use, when the Spanish discovered Mexico, found the Aztecs were there. The Aztecs practiced large-scale human sacrifice and didn't think this was weird. They were happy to show the Spanish this because it was normal to them. Because in their culture, it was. In our culture, it's not. Even today, if you go to a place like Pakistan, alcohol is illegal and they take it seriously. You can't buy booze. There's no off licenses in Pakistan, but you can buy weed. You can buy weed, it's easy. So, and that's because in their culture, weed's okay, alcohol's not. In our culture, other way around. Is deviance always treated seriously? Well, no, it's not, is it? Depends on how deviant it is. Yeah, and we'll look at that in a moment. So deviance is not always taken seriously. So crime, a written rule, a law about certain behaviour written by us. Deviance, behaviour that breaks an unwritten rule, the rules that are the norms and values of the culture. So, somebody comes to school wearing a dress. A boy comes to school wearing a dress. That is not a crime, but it is seen as a bit deviant. I knock out someone's teeth with a hammer in class. That is a crime. It's also deviant. And I want to really concentrate on this one, to do with deviance. Jack drinks a can of lager on the tram before school. So that is a crime and deviant. Always, let's think about this. What about if Jack, let's say Jack's 15, it's definitely a crime, and it's definitely deviant. What about if you swap before school to Saturday night? You've changed nothing, it's still Jack, still 15, still on a tram, but it's now Saturday evening. In our culture, that's not seen as particularly deviant. It's the context, it's the where and the when. This is seen as very deviant because of the time of day. If you see somebody drinking early in the morning, and you see somebody drinking at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, the action's the same, drinking booze, but the way you view it is different. The deviance is different depending on the time and the place. So is deviance or treated seriously? It varies.